I had some technical difficulties, so apologies if anyone is finding this a few minutes late. 4 minutes late to be precise. I was getting my OBS set up and the windows weren't cooperating correctly. So today, what I'm going to do is, first of all, take your questions. So go ahead and drop those in the chat, as always. This is like the 7th, I don't know, we've done this for a few weeks now, a while, a month and a half or so. And so drop your questions in the chat, I'll answer those. But in lieu of questions, or until I get questions, I'm going to show you today just setting up a podcast, setting up a audio-only podcast. So let me switch this project to composition to audio-only. By default, or not by default, depends on how you set it up when you click new project, if it's audio or video, but you can edit audio only if you want. And what I'm going to do is bring in 2 files to make an interview. And the very important step with that is that it be in a sequence. And a sequence is a way that we can keep multiple tracks in to make an interview. And the very step with that is that it be I'm checking my audio here. A sequence is a way that we can keep multiple tracks in to make an interview. Step with that. I'm checking my audio here. A sequence is in to make an interview. Step with that. Oh my god. I'm getting a lot of echo. I don't know if that's coming through on your side. If it is, let me know. Hang on. Oh my god. I'm getting a lot of echo. I don't know if that's coming through. Okay, it sounds better now. I apologize to anyone watching this after the fact. I'm going to have to do some edits because this is not good. But with that out of the way, let me find on my computer the file that I want. And I might have to add it. Let me see if I have these files. This document. You know what? I don't have the files. I'm not going to be able to show you that. So let's just do what I've done the last couple weeks. I'm just going to work on templates, because templates are probably the top thing I get asked about. People are always wondering about templates. I'm not going to show you that. So let's just do what. So I'm going to create a template. Let me do a YouTube intro scene. I'm going to add a rectangle. This is kind of a format that I use often, which is, I'm going to add an animation. I'm going to have this thing slide into the screen. So it started out of the screen. You see this shape that I added here. And what I'm going to do by the second keyframe, after about a half a second, is this thing is going to slide into view. And a better way to do this, I'm going to hit undo. A better way to do this in this type of animation where I want it to slide out on the same x-axis is to adjust it using these numbers. If I try to eyeball it and slide it, notice how it's like bouncing up and down. Like, I don't want that. If it ends up out a little bit up or a little bit down, it's going to be distracting. It's not going to look professional. So if I want it to slide out smoothly, I can adjust the X number here on the layout, and I could simply click and slide it. Whoops, I clicked into the Y there. So that this slides out and it keeps its Y-axis throughout the transition there. And let's see how that looks. Nice, looks cool. Now what I could do is round the corners. I could make this like 100. It's pretty round. And notice I left a little bit outside of the canvas, so it looks like it's going out of the screen. I'm gonna keep it like that. I can add a border to this. And let me add a background just so that you can kind of tell, so you can see this a little better. And I'm gonna send that to the back so that my layer is in front. And I'm gonna make this a border of 5 pixels. And I'm gonna make it, orange doesn't work there. Let's do like blue. And then, so I got that. I could change the opacity. I can make this like 70, so it's kind of faint. Now let's see how that looks. Boom. It's kind of cool, kind of simple, but you get the idea of where you could go with this. And then you could add some words. I could add like 85. And I could say Ross. Let me make that just a little bit smaller. Put it at the top. And then add a little border so it stands out a little bit more, pops a little bit. Make that like a 5, add a shadow, bring that shadow down. Make that like a 3. And to those of you in the call, I'm just kind of killing time here, just showing you creating a template. If you have questions, please feel free to add them to the chat, and that can guide the discussion today. Let's say YouTube live stream. And I'm gonna make that smaller so it all fits on one line. And that's like a sub of the top line there. It's a little hard to read. I'm gonna get rid of this shadow. Make it a little smaller. And cool. Let me actually just change the font though. I want it different. Do like pop-ins, and then you can make it all caps. You can change the color. I'm just having a hard time reading it. I think it's best without, in this case, it's best without the shadow there. Blue, black, purple. Let's make this colorful. Might end up ugly. That's the thing with design. If you don't know what you're doing, as I do not, then you got to be careful with colors. Okay, so let's see what we got. So we got our animation rectangle that slides out, and I could add some sort of fade so that those words aren't visible until later in the video. And I'm going to make the YouTube live stream come out later. So the word pops on, fades in, and then the YouTube live stream fades in. Boom, boom. And I'm gonna make these a little bit opaque. Messing around with opacity is powerful. It's something I didn't do when I was a new video editor, and something I'm doing a lot of lately. And it really makes things, you can really make things look a lot better with some simple opacity tweaks. Cool. So we have like a little working intro thing. Like I could use this on a live stream or whatever, anything at all. And to save it as a template, you just right click on the scene thumbnail up here on the left, right click and hit save to template. And then you could create a new template. Let me see if I have one I could drop this into. I'll drop it into untitled template, whatever. And it opens up a new tab here, a new page for your templates. And it looks just like a project page, but you can tell it's a template page because of these 4 squares in the top. And once again, there it is. And I could hit publish template, and I could say YouTube live template. And you set your privacy settings and hit publish template. And this is now a usable template that I could apply at the beginning of any video that I want. So let's call that template 1. Template number 1. This will be template number 2. And what could I make now? So again, feel free to leave comments if you have them. This live stream doesn't really start until people start asking questions. Let's see. What could I make now? So again, okay. I just check in on the live stream quality there, make sure that we still got a good sound and everything. That's recording. I'm not going to do that. First thing, I'm going to just add something to the background again. You know what's kind of cool, kind of fun to do is transition pages. For example, something like this with stars. Let me open up this timeline here. And then I'm going to put that in the script, say include in script. And then I'm going to add some text. So let me do like text here. And I'm going to center this up. And sorry, I'm not doing a good job of live streaming here, but in lack of any viewers, I'm just kind of killing time anyways. Okay, so yeah, what you could do with this is, and I didn't mean to click the back there, is this could become your B-roll type of thing. So you have like a transition between scenes, and you could have this text here. Let me try. Adding a little different shadows. Could add something just a little subtle, just to let it pop a little bit. And if you match, like, you could even, it's kind of just a gray or white, but you could, if you wanted, to match a shade of one of the pixels of one of the stars, like so. And then that's kind of a cool transition, is like you're navigating through the stars. Template number 3, and super simple too. You could, let's do, there's some more galaxy type of stuff. You could do like a river one. Let's see if we could find one like a river, like being on a river. That's kind of close, but that's like a drone. Something like this, but moving, like first person point of view of like being in a kayak would be cool. That's kind of cool, but it looks fake. That looks like a video game. It's not quite what I'm going for. River kayak. Okay, so I could do something like this, and could add some title here. And this will be cool actually, because the horizontal line of the water splits the scene nicely in the middle. And what I'd like to do with this, first of all, I'll get some bigger text that I can actually read. And then you kind of put it, let me find, this looks kind of more compact. This is kind of, let's see how this looks. And let me go even bigger. And then I could put this like in the water. That's super easy to read right there. I could also add some opacity to it. See that? That's a really nice look. Something like that. Maybe even lower it just a little bit so that the E's of here are intersected by the water. That's a cool look. And then yeah, something like that. And then let's do a number 4. Template number 4. And what else would be cool? We got stars, we got river. Let's do like a hiking one. Let's see if we can find some like cool mountains. This one's really dark, which is good. It's fine. We can use that. Helps to have a variety of different moods and things that you can add. And then I could do title here. And if I put my mouse on the corner, I can tilt it, and I could do something like this, like make it parallel to the incline. That's kind of interesting, right? Could slide that down a little bit. And I could add a little bit of shadow to that to make it pop. And maybe bring the opacity down just a touch. And it's kind of dark in the background. And one other thing you can manipulate here when you make something opaque or slightly opaque is the background color. So because it's a black background by default, I can add a different color, which can give this a totally different feel. Like if I put a red background or blue, now it looks more like a morning than a sunset, like depending on the color that I use. Red's pretty strong. Something like that. And let's see how that looks. Maybe I'll make the words a little bit opaque too. Like let's do like 85%, maybe 75%. So yeah, interesting. You get the idea. And you could also move this below the horizon. See how that looks. Not sure which I prefer. Or even splitting the horizon. I think I like it on top of the horizon. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, let's do another one. And again, I'm just killing time making templates. Feel free to chime in the chat with questions, and we can go down any direction you want. We've already covered hiking. Let's do, I want to do a diving one. I like diving. See if we can find some beautiful sea. Something like this. Lots of blue. So the reason that I always make this a include in script is it depends how you plan to use this. If you want this to be the script layer where it's going to, there's not going to be any speaking over this or anything like that, then because that is how I would use this. This would be like a transition scene to introduce a new topic as I'm speaking about something. That's why I do that. But if you wanted this to just stack on top of something, like where you're already speaking, then you would just leave it as a layer, or in this case, remove from script and just have it as a supporting layer. But I'm gonna have this in my script. And let me add some titles. Text here. And that's already centered. And this could look really cool with, that's cool. Let's see about some shadow. I like that a lot. Simple. Not much I need to do there. I mean, I could play with the opacity a little bit. Let's see. 95, 80. Makes it a little darker. Looks a little, it changes the mood by making it a little darker like that. Kind of feels more dangerous. Darker, I like it. So depending on how you're using this, that could be a very effective template as well. Template number 6. And do like some other countries here. Let's do some Nepal stuff. That's super cool. Ooh, the bridges, I like it. Okay, for something like this, I'm gonna add this. And then include in script. I'm gonna add some music this time. I'm gonna do like meditation. Like if I can find like some Tibetan type of meditation sounds. Oops, I accidentally added something, but actually that's not bad. Tibetan temple bells. Let me go with that. Just expand it to fill that whole thing. And then what I would probably do is extend it just a bit and have it fade. Just adding a little fade there. And I'll fade out of the template as well. That's something I haven't been adding, but I would. If I was making these for clients, I would add fades at the beginning and end because it just makes it less harsh, comes in and out a little smoother. And playing with animations and things as well. And let's get some text on here. Title here. And let's see. Maybe I could, I don't want to cover up the bells. Those are kind of the main. Maybe bottom left, bottom third. And then do some opacity on this one. And let's get a little color in here. Oh, that's not going to work. You can also play it. There's an opacity dial here, color dial here. Your pixel matcher. Ooh, let's do a little, let's do some orange like that. But now it's hard to see. So let me add some shadow. Let's make it smaller. Left align it. I don't love it. It's not right. I don't know. Let me get rid of that. Let me start over. My process is pretty much just make a change, see. I don't usually know where it's going to end up, as you can tell. I'm just kind of trying things. If I like it, I keep it. If not, change it. Let me do a right aligned. And let's do like, hello with some shadow, some border. No, I don't want that background. I don't know. I don't love this one, but I'm going to move on. And I saw a couple of people hop in and out of the stream here. So please ask your questions and we can address those if you have any. Okay. So you pretty much see my formula with these is, let me move on to something else, because my formula with these is pretty much background, like something moving, nature, a city, that type of thing, and then text over it, and then blending the text in some creative, interesting way by playing with the opacity, playing with the colors, playing with the shadows, until you arrive at something that's easy to read, that is interesting, and is visually appealing. So I did YouTube intro, I did title screens. What else? Could do just a simple lower thirds. So one way to do this easily is to start from Descript's built-in ones. So you go to titles, and then we go to something like modern lower thirds. And then based off of this, you could just change these fonts. You could change the size, the colors, whatever. That's a really easy way to do it. And you could also use these as a starting point for animations. So if instead of, what do these fade out? They do not. So what I could do is I could add fades, I could add animations. Like which layer is that? Secondary subtitle. So I'll hit plus, custom, and second keyframe, this thing is gonna disappear. It's gonna drop down. Let's see how that looks. Slides out, cool. And then subtitle, this thing is going to slide to the left. I'm gonna undo that. I mentioned already that the danger of doing what I just did, of trying to drag it, is that it gets out of the X or the Y axis where I started it. So I'm gonna undo that because I don't want it to slide up and out. I want it to slide directly left. So the best way to do that is to actually change these numbers and just, oops, that's the Y axis. Change the X axis so that it slides out like so. And I'll probably go even further just in case I have a lot of text in there. Let's see how that looks. Boom. It's not great, but you get the idea that you could, starting with the Descript template or any other template you've built, you could then just tweak it to be a little bit better. Template number 8. What else? This one's really cool. I like it a lot. It's great for showing like a quote, and it's 4 separate layers with 4 separate animations. So you just click in here and say, this is my quote. And then you could change the font, the colors, all that kind of stuff, normal stuff. And let's play around with that. In fact, yellow, orange. Looks super colorful and nice. And then we could add a transition on that right here. Say out, cross zoom, make it 0.4 of a second or so. Gone. Let's see. Let's do, how many templates have I made? 8. Template number 9. Whoops. Template number 9. Okay, so we did some title pages, we did a YouTube intro. Let's do a YouTube outro. That's a good one to talk about. So every video on my channel as of the last 3 months or so has had a similar outro, and the way that I build it is, do you prefer adding an out transition or an in transition? So the question in the chat is, do I prefer adding an out transition or an in transition? I typically do out transitions, and yeah, it's like a personal preference thing, really. There's no like right or wrong answer there, because the effect will be the same on both sides of the boundary of the scene. So, and just for whatever reason, I mostly do out transitions. I don't typically start things with transitions, like starting videos with transitions. And so, yeah, personal preference. Okay. So, and keep the questions coming if you got more. Is it possible to change the length of a GIF or sticker after I take it off loop? The length seems static. Yeah, so changing the length of a GIF. Very good question. Let me add a GIF here. It's still got Tibetan. Let's add this guy right here. So this one is, it defaulted to a loop. If I only play it once, it's only 1.6 seconds. And GIFs are a little bit tricky. You've probably run into this where if you loop it, it's going to fill the entire scene that it's in. And if I try to, I can't, like, for example, extend it. There's no way to extend it into the next scene. I could move it, but then it fills the next scene. So if you're on once, the way that you can change the speed of it is right here. So it's playing at 1x speed. I could play this at half speed, and now it's going to be twice as long. But then you run into that may not be the look that you're going for. So you could manually loop it by copying it, Control C, Control V, and then just kind of put it one after the other like that. And then those are only going to play once each. So you could do something like that. Yeah. So that's it. That's your only option, really. You're asking if the length seems static, and unfortunately, all you can really manipulate is the playback speed. And you can make it faster, of course, by doing 2x, 1.5x, all the way up to the maximum is 30x, which would be like flicker on for one frame in the case of this GIF. But that is the gist of those. Yeah, and then you could also just copy it, and if you don't want to loop, like let's say you want to skip a few seconds ahead, you could paste it. Sorry, I guess you'll still have to drag it out like that. But that's it with the GIFs, yeah. And a new question, what tier of subscription do we need to use these features? So yeah, good question. The templates, I don't know when you joined. I up until now I created a bunch of templates. To make templates, use templates, you have to be on Creator or Pro. For GIFs, you can access them on the free plan, but you'll be limited. So when you open up your media bin and you look at this, for example, you type in something, I believe on the free plan, you'll only see the top 5, and then everything after it will have like a little padlock on it to try to get you to upgrade. But as far as being able to like do this, change the speed and stuff, you'll be able to do that on free plan. Is there anything specific you're looking for or haven't been able to do that you're wondering about? I can talk more about the plans. And if not, I can keep going on. The biggest thing with the subscriptions is the biggest reason that you might subscribe is, first of all, if you make a lot of videos, but the big one is watermark exports. You only get 1 per month, and you're limited to 720p on video quality on the free plan. But if you upgrade, you can go all the way up to 4K, up to unlimited videos, basically. On transcription, you get 30 hours per month, that kind of thing. And then, so in the chat, I'm trying to have text on the side. Can you, what exactly do you mean by that? Do you mean like on just the side of the video? So like I go up here to the T, I go title, and then I could put it on the side by moving the layer over here. I could rotate it so that it's like that. like adding text. Oh, okay. I think what you're looking for is captions. So let me do a captions demo. And I'm going to use AI. So I go to Ask AI. I'm going to say write a script that's meant to be spoken out loud and recorded about creating videos in the style of, I don't know, a documentary for an audience of YouTubers. Okay, and it's using literally ChatGPT to create that entire script. I'm gonna hit add to script, and now it's in there. Okay, split screen, left side of screen text and talking head on right side. Yeah, I can add that. So I'm gonna I just assigned a speaker in order for this to become an AI voice. And the importance of having text is this is what the captions are gonna read. So now I could add like a guy speaking, for example. And let's do this guy. And then I'm just gonna resize this, double click on him, crop it, hit done. And then this will be my guy on the right side. And then on the left side, I'll have my captions. So what I want is come to the T, come to captions, click on that. And you can see if I play this, it put him on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is just resize this, position it so it's like this. And then if I play it.
Welcome to the world of video creation. Today, we are diving into the art of crafting documentaries for...
So, like that. And some of the words are going off of the page there. So let me make that smaller. The word documentaries is so big that it's out of the page there. Is that what you were looking for? Is that kind of what you had in mind? And then obviously you could replace this with your video if it was you speaking, and the words would be your words. It'd be reading your caption. But
for your YouTube channel. Documentary style.
That's the gist of it. And then resizing this so it all fits. Like if I make that even smaller. Man, documentary style is such a big word. Doesn't fit in there well. And I could change the background.
Welcome to the world of video creation.
Yeah, so that's super easy to do, and you could do that on the free plan. And then if you liked this style, like let's say you come up with the exact look and feel that you want to have on all your videos, you could just right click on this thumbnail, say save to template, and then you could just plug this into every single video and it'll automatically do this without having to create it every single time. How about when I'm speaking and have some text boxes with some sentences? So adding, if I understand the question correctly, you're asking about adding text boxes. So like, so not captions, but just adding static text like this. Then that would be the text box, the T at the top, and then adding title, subtitle, text, and then changing it to what you want. Let me know if that's going down the right track of what you're asking. But if you wanted to make this, if you're referring to like the style of this, you click here, these dials, and then this is where you can change like the fill color, and that I got that ugly orange border, so I could like get rid of that, or change it to anything else that I wanted. Let's do like purple, style that down a bit. And then the background, I'm gonna get rid of the background. Active word is gonna turn blue. Let's make it turn gray. And you can add a little border. And you can see there what's happening as well as right here. And then future words are the words that aren't said yet. It looks like that.
Today, we are diving into the art of crafting documentaries for your YouTube channel. Documentary.
So, yep, like that. And let me know if there's anything else specific with the captions, or if you have like a video you want me to replicate, I'd be happy to do that. I could pull up like somebody else's YouTube channel and then try to recreate it. I have on all the templates, I have these available for free for download on my website, which I think should be in the description of this video, this live stream, so you can check that out. And I have, for example, these, which are kind of like the ones I was making at the beginning of this live stream. They're like different moving backgrounds with titles, and so you could just replace the titles with whatever's relevant to your video. The one I was going to show you is this one. I tried to recreate the Netflix subtitles. So the font, the shadowing, everything of the Netflix subtitles, 2 lines, that type of thing. And so you could take this and just drop this template onto your project, and you would have Netflix templates, Netflix subtitles. Cool. And there's also, you can apply templates from here where it says choose template, and then you could just drop it on that way. Regarding transcription, have you tried to record audio from your computer that will transcribe without using monthly hours? When screen recording with my camera, it can transcribe my voice. If I understand the question correctly, you're asking about recording without using transcription hours, so basically you don't want it transcribed and you don't want to use your time. If that's the case, you can go to your recording, like start a recording, and then go to this recorder settings here, and nope, it's not here. Sorry, it's going to be in your other settings, these ones. So go to the D logo, go to settings, and then transcription activity, no. Right here, you could say always ask before transcribing. And then if you don't have that turned on, then it's just going to assume you want it transcribed, and it's going to do that. So like let me just do a little, you know what? The thing I was looking for is right here. So right next to your microphone, click on these dials, and then turn off transcribe. And then it will not transcribe your thing. But the other setting I showed you is also important, so that it'll manually ask you every time before transcribing. And then, if that's a concern that you're using up your transcription time, that's a way that you can be a little bit more deliberate about what gets transcribed or not. Personally, I'm on the pro plan, and I get 30 hours a month, and I haven't even come close to using all that. So it's never been an issue for me, but to transcribe my voice doesn't take up hours, but when I record a video, it doesn't even try to transcribe. Okay, you do want to transcribe. So, and check that this is on. Everything, the reverse of everything I showed you, make sure transcribe is on, and then when you record, I'm recording right now, test. It automatically starts transcribing it because of the settings I have. If it's not doing that, that's weird. I'm trying to think of any other settings or issues. How's the audio quality? Does it sound good? Is it like, are you seeing good sound waves? Try to transcribe a video on YouTube. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. When you say transcribe a video on YouTube, you mean like a video? Oh, like a computer audio, like the audio from my computer and then have it be transcribed? I think if that's what you're asking, I can try that. Let me pull up a video. Go into my YouTube studio. And let's do my most recent video. Today. Okay. So this time I'm gonna record and my computer audio is on. So when I'm playing Descript rollout version 88, it should do my computer audio. So I'm gonna do record into new layer, record new layer. Okay. So now I'm playing. I don't know if you're able to hear this with the last couple versions in version 36. I don't have anything net new to show you today, which represents, I think, an important shift in Descript's approach. And they wrote in this change. Okay, so that was the video I was playing. I don't know if you're able to hear it through the stream, but let's see if it got that. The answer is it should record. It should transcribe it. And unless where did it get added? Hang on. I don't have anything. Okay. You know what? So here it is. This is the computer audio right here, this layer. And the reason this didn't get transcribed is because I added it as a new layer. So if I wanted to transcribe it, transcriptions only happen on the script layer. So this bottom one right here is your script layer, which is why you got the words over it. It's transcribed. And the way that I just did it, where I said record new layer, it didn't put it into my script layer because I didn't tell it to. So if I put it down here into my script layer, there's a couple things I can do. I can do view media, and then this opens up my media bin here, and I can hit these three dots, and I can say transcribe file. So that's what, and then I get this prompt that should look familiar. I can label the speaker, etc. So again, let me go over that again a different way. You can go to your media bin, you can go to recordings, find the one that's called computer audio, which will be the one, in this case, it was my YouTube video. You'll click on these three dots and then you'll say transcribe file. And then it'll give you your transcription prompt and you're off to the races. So yeah, that's, let me know if that is what you were looking for. And now that one is transcribed. And my video is going to be, I don't know where my video went. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the question. Let me find my video. Oh, you know what? I wasn't recording video. I won't find it because there was no video. I did audio only. And then, of course, the other important thing here, just to give more details, is that your computer audio is on. If it's disabled like this, then your computer audio won't come through in the first place. And another option, so I did record new layer, but by default, it wants to put it into the script, which would skip the step that I did where I found it in the media bin altogether. This would just directly put it into the script. It'll prompt you to transcribe it, and then it's that much faster and easier. Oh, and right here, you can choose whether to transcribe computer audio with these effect dials right here. So, yep, that's how you would do that. And then you could silence yourself. You could do a screen recording. You could turn off your webcam and then just record a portion of your screen while playing computer audio and transcribing it. And even apply studio sound if you want. So yeah, lots you can do there. Yeah, if I get any more questions in the next like 2 minutes, we can keep going. Otherwise, I've been going for almost an hour now. Happy to keep going if we got more questions. Let's see here. Oh, I guess I could take this opportunity to... Oh, another question. Can you make thumbnails in Descript? No, not really. You can set your thumbnails in Descript for YouTube. For example, the publish feature here, this button right here, you can set your thumbnail. So right now it just picked, I think it's the first frame of the video. And so I could change frame and I could scroll through and pick a specific frame. There it is. And then you say use frame, or I could upload. So I could browse my computer and choose a thumbnail like that. And this is very hit or miss. So you could then, in theory, publish it to YouTube. But I say it's hit or miss because this is supposed to become the thumbnail on the YouTube video that you upload. However, I don't use this feature because it doesn't always work. I see a lot of complaints about the YouTube publishing feature, and it's because most people are using it wrong. I made a video about how to do it correctly so that it always works. But even when the feature works, the thumbnail portion of it doesn't. So that's why I don't use this often. I usually upload the thumbnail from YouTube Studio. And sorry, that was a sidetrack of the original question of can you make the thumbnail in Descript? It wouldn't be good for that because it's kind of like, it'd be like making something in PowerPoint. Like you're kind of limited to these shapes. You're limited on the color corrections, that type of thing. And then on top of that, you can't just like export it as an image. So it's not good for creating the thumbnail. I use Canva for creating thumbnails. And yeah, Canva's great. It's easy. It's user friendly, and they got a lot of templates as well. So highly recommend Canva for thumbnails. And my thumbnail formula on the YouTube channel that you're all on right now is I have a background that I lower the opacity on to like 80%. I add a picture of me, and it's usually me like smiling or pointing at something or like holding up a number, like, that clickbaity thumbnail type of thing. And then I add an outline to myself, usually a different color every time, sometimes orange, yellow, blue, whatever. And then the thing I'm talking about, if I can find like a graphical thing, maybe it's the Descript logo, maybe it's like a microphone, maybe it's a camera, something relevant to what I'm talking about, then I'll add that. Don't typically add text unless it's relevant, like a number, like, I don't know. Numbers are effective. If you're talking about money and you put like a big red $1,000 sign on the thumbnail, that's effective. But that's my basic formula is different background, image of me, and then image of like what I'm talking about. Just very simple. I'm by no means an expert, but I've gotten a lot better at thumbnails in the last few months. And yeah, thumbnails are hard. They're so important. People like Mr. Beast have like an entire team that comes up with ideas and makes thumbnails, and it's just crazy. But my thumbnails typically take about 30 seconds to make. And it's probably obvious, but yeah. Does publish always use the composition you're on? Okay, so the question is, does publish always use the composition you're on, or does it publish the entire project? and it's the composition you're on. So if I went to publish, like I just in this live stream, I made 12 different templates, 12 different compositions. And if I go to publish and I go to YouTube, it's going to publish only this composition called Captions Demo. There's no option to like with export, for example, you can do all compositions, current composition, but that's not an option with publish. Publish is just the current composition. So, good question. Yeah. Okay, so no, thank you. Thank you for the questions. The first 20 minutes of this, I was alone just showing templates and trying to fill the time. So I'm glad, and I'm happy to keep going because it took so long for a few people to join that if you got questions, keep them coming. But otherwise, I will go into my pitch moment, which is to show you what I do in case you're finding me for the first time. I do this, teaching Descript, and I have a course. I have the main three things are a course, which is like a do it at your own pace, structured kind of program. I have tutoring, which is just one-on-one over Zoom. You can book an hour with me or a package of calls. And then I make templates. I showed you a bunch of templates. Those are common ones that I typically get hired for, is making intros and outros and title screens and things like that. So the templates are $25 each. The tutoring depends on if you buy one call or 3 or 5. And the course is $288, all in US dollars. And yeah, if that's all, I will wrap it up here. And I thank everyone for joining. And I plan to do this every week. I've been doing it every week, every Friday at, I'm in Mountain Time, but I guess what is that? Pacific would be 12:30 Pacific, 1:30 Mountain, 2:30 Central, and 3:30 East. Yeah, doing public math. So thanks for joining. Have a great weekend, and let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Yeah, thanks for joining. Bye-bye.